The situation we are in on immigration traces back to the pandemic. For 2 years during the pandemic, our borders were closed. And with that came, as we bounced back in our economy, a labor shortage that everyone felt across the country. You couldn't find workers to work in our factories, our fish plants, our restaurants. So business community, provinces, everyone said to the federal government, we need many more temporary foreign workers to get our economy back rolling. It's been precarious through the pandemic. We need this. And we did that. We boosted the number of temporary foreign workers massively. And international students increased massively as well across the country. The problem was, once that got going, it was great, but it started to create other pressures. Rents here in Halifax started to shoot up because those international students didn't have enough residences provided for them by the universities. And the problem was a challenge here. It was much more of a problem in Ontario, where there was a systemic exploitation of international students in the university equivalent of puppy mills, where kids were committing suicide. People would sell their farm back home to send their kid to Canada to get a good education, and they'd come here and it would be complete frauds. And the provinces weren't doing their work on making sure that these kids were going to properly accredited institutions, and nobody was making sure that there was proper lodging for these kids. And they ended up just scattering through communities, driving up the rent for everyone. So we had to say, okay, we're going to put a pause on immigration over the next couple of years to allow our economy, our home building programs that are going, to catch up so that we can get back on the track we were on before the pandemic, which we get back on with 2027. This pause gets us back to the linear, steady increases that we projected before the pandemic. But it allows our economy to catch up. It allows universities to build residences for their international students. And it allows our economies and the services and the opportunities to be there to bring in international students, to bring in high-skilled and in some cases low-skilled international workers to do the jobs that Canadians can't or won't do, but to do it in a way that is sustainable, in a way that will make sure that one of Canada's greatest advantages in the world is protected, and that is the fact that Canadians remain, even as the world is turning away, Canadians remain positive around immigration, because we know it creates growth, it creates opportunity, it's created this country in so many different ways, but it has to be done right and responsibly, and that's exactly what we're doing.